What is going on, guys? The Inked Talker here, and today we're going to be discussing the training for the Gourmet World Saga. If you haven't seen the IGO saga that I put up, leave a link in the episode description below. We are going to start with the Ozone Herb, Ozone Grass arc, which the only character they introduce is Ichiryu, which is the president of the IGO, and also the person that trained the four heavenly kings and raised them. The only other beast of note that's in here is the Nitro, which is what the Gourmet Corps have modeled their GT robots after, and they are the things that can find God. So we will get into discussion of what those are. Let's get started with the Ozone Herb arc. We begin with Toriko paying a visit to Ichiryu. He learns that Ichiryu, Jiro, and Midora were apprentices of Acacia. Ichiryu then wants to test Toriko's strength, so they spar. After, he tells him that while he's strong enough to go into the Gourmet world, his body, on the other hand, won't be able to survive the elements. So, he gives Toriko an ingredient he wants him to go collect, the ozone grass. Toriko goes to get Komatsu to go with him to Vegetable Sky. They get to the sky plant and have to climb from the bottom by foot. After being met with some mishaps, strong winds, giant hail drops the size of houses, thunderstorms, and Komatsu almost dying again, they finally make it to the top. They reach Vegetable Sky, and to find the whole land is just covered in all vegetables. Komatsu is looking like an old ass man, and after eating a cucumber, he's looking really shiny. After they eat their fill, they end up having to take a shit, saying that the veggies here digest way too fast. After, Komatsu finds the ozone grass, and Toriko finds what looks like GT robot footprints. When Komatsu goes to show Toriko the ozone grass, the leaves have closed up. The first time Toriko goes and tries to open the leaves, Komatsu gets some kind of feeling saying that they aren't opening it correctly, but before he can finish his sentence, Toriko pulls a leaf and the whole ozone grass deflates and turns back into a seed. Komatsu thinks the ozone grass is a special preparation ingredient. They then find a field of ozone grass. After figuring out they have to work together and messing up a bunch, they are finally able to get the ozone grass. They try and eat it and mess up again, and it tastes like shit. It also has to be eaten together. Torko eats it and levels up, but doesn't put in his full course, saying it's not good enough. Then he asks Komatsu if he's ever been thinking about wanting to be his combo. Komatsu says since the first day they met, he wanted to be his combo. Torko straight tells him, though, that he had never had a thought until now. The straight disrespect towards my man Komatsu here. Just the next moment, a figure resembling a GT robot appears. Torko realizes that it's actually a living being, and it walks straight past the two, eating the ozone grass by taking 2 bites simultaneously, super fast. It spits it out, and then just leaves. Toriko and Komatsu make their way to IGO headquarters, and Toriko introduces Komatsu to Ichiryu, telling him that he's found his partner. Toriko thinks he's ready for the Gourmet world, but Ichiryu says different. He gives him a list of ingredients he wants him to collect, saying that he will also give him to Coco and Sunny lists as well. Ichiryu then tells Toriko that he's going to the Gourmet world and to hurry up and level up and meet him there. Before they leave, Toriko tells Ichiryu about the beast they saw. Ichiryu knows what it is, but he doesn't say anything about it to them. Alright, and that is it for the Ozone Herb arc. I mean, the only difference that's in the manga is that instead of it turning into a seed when he touches it and pulls the leaf down, it actually just rots away. And that's really the only thing. So we can get into the next arc, which is only 2 episodes long, but it is the reality of the Gourmet world. Toriko is talking to Sunny about when he went into the Gourmet world. Sunny went and almost died, but was saved by Yosaku. He doesn't tell him that, but he tells him that he should go to the Waterfall Basin of Life to get into the Gourmet world. Toriko arrives at the basin, jumps in. As he's falling, a breath dragon with a capture level immeasurable blows him into a wall. He tries to attack with a flying fork, but it doesn't reach. He falls into a jungle floor, and after regaining consciousness, his body feels heavy and he is unable to move. An Ashura tiger, capture level immeasurable, appears and attacks Toriko. He is barely able to dodge, saying his body weight feels like it's multiplied. He's knocked into a King Renta. He's able to use a 15-fold spike punch no problem, but is blown away when the two beasts start to fight. He's thrown into a desert where his body weight feels normal again, but it's unbearably hot. He tries to get some water from a cactus, and then is thrown back into the forest. The elements of the Gourmet world are kicking his ass as a rainstorm with giant raindrops begin. Just as he's about to be attacked again, he's saved by Jiro, who says even when he goes into the Gourmet world, he stops drinking and he takes on a completely different form. After saving Toriko, they talk and Jiro shows him that he isn't ready to be in the Gourmet world. He tells him it's not for a lack of strength, but for a lack of believing in Komatsu, and that's who asked Jiro to go and save Toriko. And with that, Toriko survives his first encounter in the Gourmet world, and leaves to return again later. Alright, see? Not very long. That is the end of the Reality of the Gourmet World arc, and we can just get straight into the Milk Stardust arc. After returning from the Gourmet world, Komatsu's cooking for Toriko, and he breaks his prized knife. I'm gonna add some more video because Komatsu's reaction is so funny when his knife breaks. Toriko suggests that they go find one of the ingredients that Ichiryu gave him, Milk Stardust. He thinks that the same name Milk also could have to do with the famous knife maker. The two make their way to Milk Mountain, and they start to climb this ridiculously tall staircase. And again, Komatsu and his reactions, super funny. Finally, at the top, they find a small shack. Torko feels a sharp fighting spirit coming from the shack. Behind them, they almost get attacked by a capture level 22 Scale Kong, but is saved by Milk. When they find out that this person is Milk, this is their reaction. As they go inside, they see the house is covered in cuts. Komatsu is like a kid in a candy store looking at all these knives. One of the knives falls and cuts right through the floor. After feeling insulted by Toriko saying that he doesn't think that Milk is strong enough to gather the necessary ingredients to make the knives in here, they test each other out, and Toriko is able to best Milk. After Milk tells him that she's actually Milk the Second, and Milk the First has been gone for 6 years gathering materials. They ask about making Komatsu a new knife, but she said it'll take about 3 years on the wait list. They also ask about the Milk Stardust. She tells them that it's actually a grindstone, and the dust made from sharpening stuff can be used to season foods. Torko says that if he can bring some Milk Stardust back, she have to put Komatsu to the top of the line and make him a new knife, and she agrees. Komatsu stays to watch Milk work, and Toriko is visibly annoyed, and so he says that he's going to take his knife with him so it's like he's with him. After Toriko leaves, this is when Komatsu finds out that Milk is actually a woman, and again, priceless reaction, he's like, "There's nothing there!" Meanwhile, Toriko is making his way to Heavy Hole to find and retrieve the Milk Stardust. Heavy Hole is said to be about 10,000 meters underground, and it's a place where the effects of Earth's gravity is the most strongest. Making his way down, Toriko gets used to the gravity. He runs into some capture level 44 Balamoths, and here he creates a new move, the Fork Shield. Once reaching the bottom, Toriko runs into Milk the First and finds out that Milk is down there to make a knife that can handle and prepare one of Acacia's full course items, air, for Ichiryu. Milk takes Toriko to where the Milk Stardust is, and before going back, he tells him that he should make the Melon Cola his next one on his list, seeing as how now is when the cola is at its best flavoring, and it's located in the Gourmet Pyramid. Once Toriko returns, Milk the Second says that she will make Komatsu's knife for him. She uses a fang from the Dragon King Deros and Komatsu's broken knife to make a completely new knife. Once done, the knife is sharp enough to cut the mountain they're on in half with no effort. So Komatsu gets his knife, and Toriko crosses one of his training ingredients off the list. Lastly, we get a glimpse of Zebra when Ichiryu and Yosuka go to pay him a visit. And that's it for the Milk Stardust arc. The only difference, it's not even really a difference, it's just like, censorship, but which I don't even know why they would, but Toriko gets his hand cut when, she uses her blade when they spar, and then I just thought it was funny to see the actual manga drawing of when Komatsu finds out that she's a woman. But other than that, that's it, and we can get started on probably my favorite arc in this first half chunk, which is the Melon Cola arc, and they finally introduce Zebra, which is probably, I guess he's one of my favorite characters. He's definitely the strongest of the 4 Heavenly Kings, standing at, I think, over 8, either over 7 or close to 8 feet tall, weighing almost over 650 pounds, almost 700 pounds. And he probably has my favorite powers. Like, as much as I like Toriko's fork and knife, his powers are the most destructive and probably some of the best in the entire series. So let's get started, and finally we get to see the last Heavenly King, Zebra. And let's get started on the Melon Cola arc. Toriko, Komatsu, Sunny, and Coco are on the Gourmet carriage for a trip. This trip is a 2-year-long journey around the human world. Unfortunately, none of the group will be on the trip for that long, especially Toriko and Komatsu. Sunny's going to the 3-way road to meet a guy to train. Coco's going to the Jadal Kingdom, and Toriko and Komatsu are going to the Gourmet Pyramid, one of the 7 gourmet wonders of the world. But first, unbeknownst to Komatsu, they are first going to Honey Prison to get Zebra. Toriko asks Sunny and Coco to come, but they just flat out refuse. The two make it to Honey Prison. It's the largest of the 3 gourmet prisons, able to hold over 100 million inmates. They meet the warden named Loved, and she used some type of pheromones to project a different appearance than her true self. The only one the pheromones don't have an effect on is Zebra. As they get to where Zebra is, he basically breaks himself out of his cell, and Warden Love reluctantly goes with releasing him on Ichiryu's orders. The conditions for his release are that he captures 500 criminals and finds 100 new ingredients. Just as they're about to leave, the prison is in its monster season and is attacked by a capture level 70 magma tortoise and other beasts. Zebra completely obliterates them all using his thunder noise and noise missile. This is when Toriko tells Komatsu that the reason why Zebra's in prison is because he had made 26 different species go extinct. Now the 3 leave, making their way to the Gourmet Pyramid. Cut to, they really have a Zebra report on the news because he's so dangerous that he will eat anything in his path, and they have a percentile chance of where he's going to be headed to, and the whole world economy is messed up since his release. The 3 make it to the Sand Gardens, and this is where Komatsu makes it known he's against Zebra being here. And Torko agrees, but he says that they're going to need his power to get the Mellow Cola. In the town, Toriko and Komatsu get outfitted with gear, and Komatsu picks up a pellet charm, which is a symbol of good fortune, but are unable to find transportation. The merchant says to try the town to the north. Upon reaching the next town, they find it in ruins, with a camel shop which is run by an old woman. She tells them that the war between countries caused the town's ruin. Zebra finally caught up with them, and as soon as they see him, all the townspeople jump with happiness. Komatsu is confused as to why this is happening, and Toriko explains after Zebra's discharged, war ceased so countries could form countermeasures against him, which saved this town. Then, a capture level 23 8-tailed scorpion attacks, and Zebra again obliterates the beast in one shot with a voice cutter. Finally, Toriko tells Komatsu that the 26 species that Zebra made extinct were beasts that were throwing the ecosystem out of balance, and while they didn't deserve death, eliminating them helped the environment. After that, before leaving, Zebra and Komatsu talk about the reward that Zebra wants for helping them. When traversing the desert, they make it to the desert labyrinth, and as they make their way through the red desert maze, Komatsu goes missing. Zebra uses echolocation, his echo map, to find him. Following Komatsu's trail, it leads them to the Gourmet Pyramid. Using his echo map again, Zebra makes a whole map of the pyramid, and it turns out to be this gigantic underground structure. Komatsu wakes to be inside the basement of the pyramid and is confronted by a beast, but is protected by Zebra with a howl bullet. While traversing the pyramid, we see Zebra's appetite demon for the first time as they fight and eat a beast and then move on. Torko in his head goes into detail saying that the amount of time that Zebra has had his map open has burned 3.6 million calories in 5 hours. They fight another beast and Zebra loses his voice, dropping the map, losing Komatsu. Then Toriko also goes into how many calories the two can store, Toriko being 3 million and Zebra being 4.5 million. The two move on, fighting and eating beasts until they almost have a full calorie store. With that, Zebra opens his map back up, finding Komatsu. And what has Komatsu been doing all this time? He has made his way around the pyramid using the pellet charm he found. Walking around, he sees what looks like footprints of the creature they saw in Vegetable Sky. He gets attacked by a beast, but is protected by the sound armor that Zebra put on him. He uses his new milk knife to defend him, and you see his appetite demon. I mean, not really, but he goes and cuts the room in half, and it falls in on itself. Eventually, he makes it to a tomb room and runs away scared. Then he makes it to an altar room and sees a mural depicting preparation of beasts and finds a book before being attacked by a mummified Nichiro. He grabs the book and flees while it's distracted. This is when Zebra gets his voice back, and he sees Komatsu and tells him not to go the way he's going, but it's too late. Komatsu runs into a captured level 92 salamander sphinx. Zebra tries to use a howl bullet to intimidate it, but it just brushes it off. Then, like a crazy person, he uses a sound bazooka to destroy the floor, and they meet up with Komatsu. Once together, Torko realizes that the sphinx smells like cola, and he thinks this is the beast that they're looking for. While the two kings fight, Komatsu looks at the book and figures out it's a cookbook showing how to prepare the mellow cola, which are actually the tears of the sphinx. The steps in order are evenly pound every inch of the body, then hit it in the solar plex, then scrape some of the scales off its back, then stab its feet in a clockwise rotation, then pluck a feather out of each wing at the same time, and then it's just a bunch of stuff that doesn't get explained and they just make it a compilation. And the last thing they do is hit the tail as hard as they can. With that, the cola is released, but Komatsu is knocked out by the Nichiro that was awakened. It easily takes out Toriko and Zebra as they are out of energy. Then, it sucks up all the cola, leveling up. Then, we see a flashback of Zebra and Komatsu talking about the conditions for Zebra's help, and after some back and forth, the last condition is for Komatsu to partner with Zebra. Where Komatsu makes another counter condition that he wants to know what Zebra's full course is, but Zebra doesn't have one, and the face that Komatsu makes is just hilarious when he says that. Zebra goes into what I would call like berserk mode, getting full power back while Toriko uses autophagy. They are able to defeat the Nichiro with Zebra's death sound, and Komatsu is fine. He tells him that the cola that came out wasn't all of it, and the real cola is about to come out. When it does, Toriko and Zebra both level up, and Zebra decides to put the mellow cola in his full course. Then Zebra asks if Komatsu wants to be his partner. The three squabble for a little bit, and Toriko is upset that Komatsu made the decision without him. But Komatsu says that the only reason why he did is because he believes that no one will outdo Toriko's full course, and with that, everything is fine. Komatsu sucks up the cola using a gourmet case, and Zebra said he wants to take back the Nichiro back with them and eat it. The three make it back, and Komatsu cooks a feast for them. Zebra asks where the Nichiro is, and this is when Manson shows up with two people, IGO Defense Bureau Chief Ray and Rap, who is an associate of Biotope Zero. The three learn that Biotope Zero is in the Gourmet world, and they aren't people that work for the IGO, but are private citizens hand-picked by Ichiryu. They learn that both Milk the First and Yosaku are also with Biotope Zero. Manson then tells them about the Nichiro, and that they can find God, and that's one of the reasons why the Gourmet Corps made the GT robots to look like the Nichiros, to get close to them. Lastly, Manson says that war is coming for all parties involved that are looking for God, and Toriko says that if he finds it, he'll share it with the world so there'll be no war. Alright, that is the end of the Melancholia arc. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoy it. The only real difference in the manga is they actually sew up Zebra's cheek, or Torko tries to, and then when Komatsu says he's done eating, he's like, ah, and then it just breaks open. But the only other thing is, like, I should have mentioned it in the video portion, but that pellet charm he has, he doesn't even have in the manga. If I'm remembering correctly, he just uses, like, not even, like, tries to, but his gourmet luck leads him around the pyramid. And so now we can get into the last arc of this video for the first half, which is Torko takes a break, because he needs a break after all these hard ingredients they had to find. So there's it's really 6, but 2 of them are non-canon, but there's 4 episodes, them doing like 4 different things, so let's get into that. Episode 1. We see Sunny meeting with a man named Goemon from Biotope Zero. We see Coco has finally made it to the country of Jadal. The Gourmet Corps has mass-produced new GT robot models. And lastly, we see Toriko and Komatsu at Bar Maria. They are talking about how Manson explained that chefs have been going missing, and they think that the Nichiro have been taking them. They have also gotten 3 of the 7 ingredients that Ichiryu has given Toriko, and while they're there, they meet Stargent in person, who's just chilling at the bar. They face off, but Stargent said he's only there to eat a meal, but soon they're going to go to face off in war to obtain God. Episode 2. Toriko and Komatsu go to the Gourmet Temple to see about increasing their food luck. They eat at the food stalls, go around the temple showing their respects to Acacia, seeing as the temple is dedicated to him and his full course. And after, they enter some kind of contest and both of them become Food Man, Gourmet Man of the Year. Episode 3, and probably my favorite of Torko taking a break. After scaring the shit out of Komatsu, the two make their way to Surprise Island, where the IGO cultivates surprise apples. What's a surprise apple, you ask? It's an apple with a face, and depending on how much you scare it, the better the flavor is when you eat it. The scale goes from 1 to 100, each level has a different price depending on the level. Komatsu tries to scare one, but it laughs at him, while Yoon gets a 25. After spending the day scaring apples, the person that gets the highest is Zonge, with a 80, and he does it by just farting on it. Final episode, Toriko's break. Torko and Komatsu head to go buy a small parcel of land that Toriko wants. Komatsu has also won 1 million yen from the lotto. The land in question is owned by a man named Yoshi, which has a chicken tiger beast that has made a nest, and these beasts only like to lay their eggs in the place they like. These eggs go for a lot of money, that's why people are trying to buy the land from them. After seeing Yoshi not accept offer after offer, those people try to take the beast by force but is stopped by Toriko. After the two talk to him and show him that they don't care about making money and just want to eat the egg, he ends up selling kinda, the plot to the two. Alright, and that's it for Toriko's break, and that's it for this first part of Training for the Gourmet World arc. After this, it's about to go down. All I gotta say. So I can't wait to finish that video, and we will get started. It's gonna be a little different than the last two, but I will see y'all next time. Otaku out.